said what? In the butt. You wanna do it in my butt? In my butt. You wanna do it in my butt? In my butt. You wanna do it in my butt? In my butt. Let's do it in the butt. Okay.
This is Sarah's song
It's okay
choice.
if you have a little sight. Don't you worry.
But
I
it's so
won't
sweet.
bite. Not that hard. If you want it.
V likes it in the butt.
No, I don't.
Welcome to episode 6 of Bunt Down 1.
Butt down one?
It's Bunt
Oh.
Down 1. Do it in the bunt.
Oh, that's fun. That's
All right. With me, as always, are the lovely ladies, LV
Hi.
and V.
Hello.
And then over there is our producer, Kwame.
Kwame, say hi.
Hey, I don't know if you could hear
I don't
that.
know, yeah.
He said
He
hi.
said hi.
All right. Please be sure to check out the YouTube channel, obviously, for the show.
Yep.
The Twitter feed, LV.
Yep.
And
Facebook.
Facebook,
LV show.
LV show. There
Yep.
we go. All right.
Yep, yep.
So, what thoughts do we have on week 1 before we get into the games?
It was fucking hot.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I was sweating profusely. And I got a sunburn. So, you know, and I put sunscreen on. Can't win.
It was definitely a little warm out there, but it was a lot of fun. You know, we had the home run derby with a lot of great games, some surprising wins and losses and stuff. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we have to. First things first, we're going to start with the mid-season party, which is obviously America, which LV is.
Back-to-back World War champs, baby. Woo!
I love that shirt actually because I saw that and I was going to get that for Memorial Day and everything, but
It was given.
So apparently, when last week we talked about the hashtag,
Oh, can I just say something? So I was on a trip this weekend to Virginia, and I was in the airport on the way back, and
you get my message.
no,
Oh, did I send you this?
I don't know. All I know is I was in the airport on Sunday waiting to come home, and I was like, oh, let's see if anyone tagged anything. So I typed hashtag LV on Instagram, and I get all these weird, like, Ukrainian
Yes.
takes.
So not only that, the only thing that I think maybe someone, if they know me, they maybe did this. This is the only image I found. It is a cat doing a bench press. 2 things I love. So wherever you are, if you really tagged me on that, good job. But it's probably just a coincidence.
Yeah, so
But yeah, so nobody did it. So what the
F
hell?
you guys.
Now
I mean,
we
there
can't
were-
talk about pictures.
I mean, there were plenty of pictures taken. I mean,
Actually, I
saw
have
a few.
some. I
Yeah.
have some.
I did laugh when I think Eric sent it on the podcast chat.
Yeah.
He sent the photo of you and Martin, and then you
Yeah.
sent it me separately. You're like, what the fuck is this shit?
So this is me and Martin
From Panty Dropping Pitches.
are twinsies. We didn't plan it.
Hashtag twinning.
Also, so later, wait, no, I'm gonna talk about that later. So I'm confused.
Don't be confused.
No,
All right,
I'm gonna talk about it after this.
So go ahead. And finish
So
your
who wore
review.
it best photo? Apparently nobody wanted to vote. So
Well, I think Russell won that photo with his comment.
Yeah,
I
he
just
stole
don't
the show.
think it's funny.
I
So-
thought it was pretty hilarious, actually.
Well, understandably so. I did buy my shirt in the women's section. Leaving that there.
Are you calling Martin a woman?
No, I'm just saying that's where I bought my shirt. I mean, how did he find a shirt that was so like mine?
What store
You
did you
see
buy
what,
it in?
though?
Marshalls.
You see what though? Like yours had the red collar on it, which probably
No, his
designated
had the
it.
red collar.
Was it his?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, one of those
I don't wear
obviously
red.
designated,
It's a funny thing because I wore red last week.
right? Well, actually.
No, it definitely was a separate shirt. I'm just poking fun.
Right.
Um,
Right.
So then we have the winners and losers of the raffles and prizes. Rebecca Gilbert of Kicking Grass. She won the 50-50
Did
raffle.
she give the money back?
No, Kyle told her not to. Kyle's like, keep the money.
Give it back. Give it back.
Javier Vida from Multiple Scoregasms won the Kickball swag bag with the free season.
The quote unquote coveted kickball swag bag, according to Mr. Kyle Settle.
Well, I don't know about that, but there also was a whole table of extra shirts that he had to sell for $5. Not one person bought one, I'm pretty sure.
Why? What's
And
your
also,
shirt?
I find it ironic that in the kickball swag bag, there happens to be a Beastie Ball colored shirt. And he goes, you don't own that color. Yes, I do. But anyway.
Wait, he was selling kickball shirts?
Yeah, like extra shirts.
Yeah, like he had extras, like he had a plethora of them, and he had a bunch of different sizes, and he laid them all on a table and was selling for $5 in case anybody wanted to call it.
I mean, it's just extra money to go to the charity, so it works.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
any winners and losers at drinking?
I don't know because I left, and apparently, so I left.
You got hammered, didn't you?
Not terribly. I left towards the end of the night because I think it started raining or something, and so a few of us. It was me, the Davis brothers, Mike, and really, and
Michael Mancini reference. Numero uno.
Who else was with us? I don't know. We decided we're like, oh, let's go somewhere else, and we're like, okay, let's go to Russian Lady. We go to Russian Lady for like 10 minutes, and then I'm outside and I see Lair Bear walk by. And I'm like, Larry, yeah. And he's like, coming to Barcelona. We're all going to Barcelona. So there ends up being like 15 of us going to Barcelona. Kyle shows up at like the end of the night and he's like, what the hell? You guys all left me. And like was like, nobody invited me. He was all butthurt. It was pretty funny.
Good story, Hansel.
And then there also, I was working the table. You know.
Where are you now?
Not like that. I was, giving out the wristbands and trying to sell the raffle tickets, like what I've been doing to help out Kyle. And the gentleman from Alcoholics, I don't know who he was. He was wearing a hoodie that was short sleeve, which I've never seen that in my life. He had
Very Lululemon of him.
Yeah, maybe it was Lululemon. I don't know. He had two friends come in. And
non-kickballers.
Well, they pretended they were kickballers, and they're like, yeah, we're in the Connecticut Kickball League. I'm like, first of all, it's not what it's called. And then they're like, yeah. And then they're like, I'm like, all right, what's your name? And they're like, giving me some like bullshit names. And I'm looking up. I'm like, no, I don't see your name here. And they're like, no, we play softball. And I'm like, that's not the right sport. And so then the man on Alcoholics was like, you're going to charge them. And I'm like, this money goes to charity. Let's not be dicks. So he gets that guy girl award for the bar.
You just be that guy.
Yeah, it was a guy.
Well, you put both here. I don't know.
I didn't.
I'm just reading from the paper. But yeah, so he was trying to call me out on charging people even though the money goes to charity, and you're trying to sneak in non-kickballers. So don't do that.
Don't do that.
Not cool.
Not
This is not how it works.
Was I at the table when that?
No, and ironically, it happened once you walked away, Kyle walked away, and Mike walked away. And so this all happens when it's just me. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting there, like they walk away. Finally, they paid after I was getting sassafrassed. And then Mike comes back. He's like, "What happened?" So I was like, "Oh," and I told him the story. And he's like, "You need some food. You're angry, hangry." So that's my recap from the party, since I was probably doing.
Sorry, busy.
Oh, I was going to say, I sat next to you helping you do the table work.
I heard that you were snazzy, dressed pretty.
Yeah, he had like a suit
snazzy.
I had, I did have my royal blue shirt, and
dress slacks.
Dress slacks, and
slacks.
I was trying to represent America, freedom, as well as look good doing it. I like to, we're trying to dress to impress. I don't have anybody to impress there other than myself, but I like to, dress up a little when I go out.
Yeah, you did that. I remember at the meet and greet, and I remember thinking you were weird.
You know what?
Don't worry, Elby doesn't judge anyone or anything.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? Look where we are now.
Yeah, I'm still weird apparently.
Yeah, but
I never not liked you before we became friends.
I didn't like you before.
I know. It's because I dated Michael Mancini, who you loved. Yeah, you better write one for yourself too, there, girlfriend. You loved him.
This is not a love meter. This is a reference meter.
All right, we got to get back on track here, ladies. You guys can fight over Mike later. So all right, so we're gonna go over the games.
Yes,
the first few games we had were Bougie and Hart 2-4 over Live and Levy to Kickball. What?
LLV. Like LV. LLV. Okay, sorry.
And we're done.
Anyway, moving on. So Bougie played a good game. They obviously, they weren't able to get their offense going against the Slam and Salmon. The Slam and Salmon. They said Slam and Salmon said they came out and they took care of business.
Business.
Yeah, business. However, from Bougie, guy Josh had an inside the park home run. He dodged throw that went errant, and he managed to get all the way around and score. I'm trying to think of what else. They couldn't recover after a ball that landed. It could have been called either way, foul or fair, but it was called fair, and that allowed 2 of those runs to get in. So it was a rough call that could have gone either way, according to Bougie. I mean, the Slam and Salmon themselves, they're not a team that really goes out and strategizes a whole lot. They, they're all fairly new to the sport. They're all fairly new to each other, so they don't have the level of camaraderie that a lot of other teams have, like any one of us from our 3 teams.
It takes years.
It does. It takes a while to build the kind of team that especially you guys have. But they came out and they played like they always do, and they resulted in a W for them. The cookies crumbled properly. We'll go with.
I think the 2 of them have very similar records. And I was going through their past games. Bougie lost to Balzania 2-0, which I think was a pretty decent loss for them because Balzania could have done a number on them.
But Balzania also tapers themselves depending on who they're playing. Like, they'll bring it when they got to play someone hard, but if it's an easier team, they're not going to be dicks. And
yeah. And then Live and Let Beat It Kickball lost to Alcoholics 3-2, another pretty decent scoreline considering that Alcoholics is playing really well up until this week, pretty much. So it's going to be interesting to see these 2 teams in the future, especially with their similar records. I'm curious to see who can outperform out of the 2 of them. Who can last longer?
Oh,
Who has greater
that's
stamina?
what she said.
Who has greater stamina?
Hashtag
stamina?
twist. Twist.
Hashtag no whiskey dick.
Ooh.
It's a real thing.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So the next game we got is Dr. Feelgood and multiple scoregasms.
10-8. That's a big number. Getting those runs,
Yeah.
differentials.
Yeah, 10-8. But lost close game.
Tell me about it. We were up 8-0 after the top of the first, and I don't think they scored anything in the first inning, and then they started chipping away, and we weren't able to do anything after that. We had that 8-run surge and couldn't do anything offensively after that. Scoregasms, got to give it to them. They locked it down, and we just weren't putting the ball where they needed to go. And Scoregasms had 1 inning where they managed to put up another 4 runs and then get it to 10-8, and then in the bottom of the 6th. They had people on first and second with, I want to say, 1 or 2 outs, but they weren't able to get anybody else around to score. We did lock it down, but we can't. I don't know. It's hard to tell really what happened.
Do you feel like you guys got complacent because you were up 8-0 in the first inning?
I can't speak for the team as a whole. I know I wasn't complacent out there. I think what had happened was they had a couple of home runs off of us that went out into right field. Our outfielders weren't playing as deep as they should have been, and some of them not as experienced. You got them taking that first step in rather than taking that first step backwards, and stuff like that happens. It's not that big a deal. We held on for the W, and then we'll run with that. I'm trying to look and see what.
Trey had a grand slam.
Yeah, Trey had his grand slam.
That in the first inning?
Yeah, that was all in the first inning. I think I was one of the only people that scored after that. Later on in the game, which Crawley from Scoregasm said that they let me score to suck up
He has
for the
some
article.
sweet dance moves.
Oh.
Yeah, he does. Unfortunately, I didn't full bomb
He
with
has.
them
He
this
had a
time.
dance
though.
off the corner. He missed it. We probably were just, boys.
Freedom.
Burka.
Anyway, so moving on to the next game, we've got I'd Kick That and Alcoholics. This is the first surprise game of the week. We all picked Alcoholics to come out and win because they've been playing very well.
Yeah.
I don't really know if this was a trap game for them.
Yeah, we're a team to
so
lose
it's
to.
funny, at the midseason party, one of the guys was talking to me from Alcoholics, and he was like, "Oh, you called us out last week because we haven't played anybody tough." And I said, "Well, these are the facts." And I honestly, I picked that as good, but I wouldn't have classified them to be someone they would lose.
That's what I wrote down.
I was waiting for them to lose the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. I picked that as a really weird team to lose to because they're.
But they have athletic people. I just didn't think that they had the knowledge to really pull something out. But then again, it's an equal playing field because who says Alcoholics has the knowledge?
We probably should have prefaced this segment by saying I bet you a lot of these scores probably coming off of the midseason party.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, there's got to be,
Plus
especially
being
with
a
these
12
early
o'clock
games.
game, that sucks.
Well,
Kyle's sabotaging you with the schedule.
I'd
Just
kick
kidding,
that
just
actually. They,
I'm not
you know, they. I see that. What are you doing
I
over
need
there?
to fix my
Anyway, while she has technical difficulties with her legs,
User error.
cushion.
right? Yeah, definitely user error.
Shut up.
I'd kick that. They have good talent. You know, Shane he's a good athlete in himself. And I think they actually had a bunch of their guys show up that weren't there previous weeks, and that attributed to not having the personnel. Excuse me, attributes to some of their losses. So
Kwame doesn't have his headphones on. I was
no,
gonna
I
say
heard that.
a burp in 3D. Dolby surround sound.
He would have been shocked if it had hit him. But anyway, but so I'd kick that. Actually, had all the people show up this week, so that I think that really helped them out a lot in that for that game.
Yeah, I mean, Alcobogs really needs to step it up for the last 2 games of the season if they want to go into playoffs being,
Yeah, because they think they're gonna have the 2 seed. Because if they do continue in their path, well, it's the same thing that happened with was it Great Balls of Fire last year? They ended up being a 2 seed or something, and it's because of this tiered system that everyone's like, oh, I'm a 2 seed. It's like, yeah, but look at what you have played. So it all comes out in the wash in the playoffs. Like everybody says, regular play games don't matter that much.
Indeed. All right, moving on to the, what do we got, 1 o'clock games?
yes.
All right, so we're starting off with Great Balls of Fire versus Pitch Don't Kill My Vibe.
Off. I love it.
You should have
Great
gone
balls.
you should have gone with like a little O for of.
Yeah.
Did you
Eh,
write these?
whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
Kwame
she did it. Yeah, she did it. No, she did it all in like 5 minutes too. So
Oh,
give
I
her
know.
give her some
So
credit.
I'm badass.
All right, 6-4. I heard that they were talking some sassafras.
After the game, they played quiet for a change. They weren't chirping onto the field like they did a couple weeks ago against sidekicks and stuff like that. So it was good for them, and they actually got their first win. And so now they're basically saying that the rest of the league is fucked because they got to win. They're coming for blood.
The rest of the league.
Hey, you never know. They could be on fire.
I feel like people, and by feel like, I want to say that I pretty much know that people say these things just to create good media for the article.
That could be, but you know what? At the same
Or they're
time,
delusional.
I mean, the Great Balls of Fire, they're a bunch of crazy guys. I tell you what, they've got a lot of energy, and it's funny. They're a great group of people. I love talking to them because they do give me good material. But they at the same time, it's more. They're just out having a good time. They're not. I wouldn't compare them to like a Wolfpack Psychic as far as like competitive level, but they're a good team when they got their shit together. So
I just love how also Kevin on Pink said that they made uncharacteristic errors, which I find to be not true because I remember a game in specific that Steve, Scuba Steve, made a stupid mistake in the outfield, and there's just like multiple mistakes every week from that team, which shouldn't be happening because they're for the most part a veteran
players. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think it's fair for him to say that they're uncharacteristic errors because they make these errors every week.
right. Well, I mean,
It could be a different kind of error though that they were making.
True.
'Cause usually they just drop shit.
Yeah, I mean, but half their team is also rookies. I mean, you say that a lot of their team are veterans, but I think when in the beginning of the season when I first was talking to Kevin, he said like half the team is people that have not played before.
Oh, well,
So
That's
those
true.
guys are still improving week by week, but I guarantee they'll win 1 game at least out of the next 2. They should.
let's go Pink.
Go Pink. What do we got?
Womp womp.
Kicking
Kicking grass and kicking hops.
Boring.
Nothing.
Forfeit.
Forfeit. Kicking hops had I think 3 people show up, which sucks because Jeremy missed last week because he was on a trip, and he came back this week and he had to forfeit. So he's got to go 4 weeks before he gets to play in the kickball game. That sucks. That's like trying to quit Grove's cold turkey, which I know nothing about.
Do you?
Yeah.
Sure.
Anyway, moving on, we got Dead Weight versus New Hey Hey.
Hey,
New Hey
hey.
Hey. Dead Weight got another win. They
Woo!
got 2.
Dead weight.
Yeah, they got
All
2 in the
right.
books. And unfortunately, after their game, I tried to find them and couldn't find them.
They're probably out getting crump. because they won 2 in a
Wait,
row.
crump
Yeah.
or crump?
Crump.
What is crump?
I'm bringing it.
Like Professor
The
Crumps
word. The word. I'm
from
bringing
the
it.
Nutty Professor?
It's clumps, you idiot.
Damn it! Ruined my joke. Shit. I try to be funny and I just
Bobby's
fail.
laughing at that.
No, Bobby's holding his head in despair.
Yeah, it's
Like he usually does when I'm talking.
we all know
Anyway,
that
So
feels.
deadweight was up
But
there.
anyways, so dead weight, and what sucks is, like I said, I didn't get a chance to interview with them because they vanished after the game. I couldn't find them anywhere.
There. Maybe they're magicians.
They could be, but I talked with New Hey, and they said this was their best game so far this season. They actually got 2 runs compared to 1 run the previous week, so their offense is improving. They're starting to strategize and put stuff together.
They're learning.
Yeah, exactly. And so they said that game was their most fun and the best game they played so far. So, they got 2 more weeks and they should pull out a victory at some point too.
They play Bougie in 2 weeks, so that should be I think a win for them. It's going to be their last regular game of the season, which is against Sidekicks, which you never know, could be a sleeper, could be a Cinderella team right there.
Could be a trap game for Sidekicks.
It could be.
Looking to playoffs.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who
So
knows?
deadweight, let's
Pick it up a little.
yeah, let's go. I wouldn't mind seeing you guys beat Sidekicks.
Of course you wouldn't. The shellacking you guys got this week.
Relax.
Anyway, all right. So moving on, we got Incrediballs 3-6, a loss to Balzania. Balzania brought the food. They brought the cooking this week.
Is that the chocolate team?
Racist!
The chocolate team.
Yeah, they had a
There's team
chocolate
that had
dessert,
chocolate
and you had to
dessert.
say no because
Because you're watching athletic.
you're watching your figure.
Yes, I have to watch.
Oh, that's so
I have to
cute.
watch this. I have a girlfriend I have to keep her on. If I get
I have
fat,
a boyfriend. I don't care.
she's
Can I
gonna.
count that as a Mancini
Nope.
reference?
No, she didn't say Mancini. You can't count that. But no, I have a girlfriend I have to continue to impress. If I get fat, she's gonna leave me. I already know that. So no death by chocolate for me.
Steph, will you leave him if he gets fat?
I told you.
Awesome.
Actually, and then what's funny, we actually, we're both on that same page. Where if I get fat, she's gonna leave me. If she gets fat, I'm gonna leave her. It's
I guess
a double-edged sword. So
right.
we'll just have to get fat together.
As long as you're both on the same page.
Yeah, we're on the same page. Anyway,
Anyway,
moving on.
Incredible.
No, that was not the team that offered me the death by chocolate. But the Balzania proved to be more Incredible
I see what you did
than
there.
the Incrediballs.
Would you say that's a surprising loss for Incrediballs?
No. I mean, I know that we picked them, but I feel
It could
like,
have gone either way.
yeah. And I feel like Balzania is just a little bit more orderly and a little bit more, I don't want to say serious, because Incrediballs is pretty serious too. But I don't know. I just feel like Balzania is like with it. I'm at a lack of words.
No, like you said earlier, they play up to their opponent,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
they played up to the level of Incrediballs, and they managed to pull out a W with that. So that works. That's how that goes.
Yep.
Okay,
I'll take the last one.
go for it.
No, the last one. There's one more. Faulty.
The last set
You're talking about
game.
the last set.
No, I'm not talking about the last set. I'm
Oh.
talking about the last one.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. I was like, what are you talking about?
Hey,
The last
He's
one.
laughing at us again.
Of course he is.
I'm gonna grab a beer.
One more laughing at you.
I'm gonna grab a beer.
Well,
Oh.
I think
Thanks, Steph.
Time.
Well,
Time is of the essence.
right. All right. So Balls Deep versus Painted Dropping Pitches. I'm just going to say that Balls Deep continued their deep penetration of the other teams. I like that, right? Giggity, Jinx.
Damn it.
Gotcha. They gave Painted Dropping Pitches the shaft.
PDP.
Yep, PDP, the shaft.
Sounds like a drug, like PCP.
They're losing. PDP is losing some close games,
They are.
which stinks because they're like right there. Thank you.
I think
Yeah,
it
those are the worst losses.
It might have to be with they haven't found their offense yet. I think it was Martin who told me a few weeks ago that one of their problems is they're not able to find that offensive. They don't have the clicking machine on offense. But I didn't really get a whole lot of anything out of Josh from Balls Deep because after the game, he was like, "I'm way too high to give you an interview right now." Like, it was the exact words.
How he showed up to the mid-season party, looks around, and goes, "I'm way too high for this," and then left.
He did.
Okay, Josh.
Sorry, but we had to say it. No, go away.
No, he was playing. Afterwards we were talking, or trying to talk about his game, and he was like, "Oh, did you see Balzania won?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm not trying to talk about that. I'm trying to you guys. This is, man, I'm way too high for this right now." And I started laughing.
Sure, he really appreciates us while he finds a new job.
No, I'm not going to put it in print, so it's not, it's not going to be anything there. And he says he didn't care. It was for me to use my discretion. So I figured I would, have a little fun with it. He's pretty open about it. So, no big deal.
Probably hang out with Russell. It's fine.
Right. But anyway, so they had Dave, the catcher from Balls Deep. He had a run and a score and kicked an RKI and had a home run. So we an RKI. So we had a lot of good stuff. Painted on pitches was the team that offered me the Death by Chocolate.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I did have to decline. Again,
You can't get fat.
exactly, I can't get fat.
So the hips don't lie.
Right? So, they had a collision out at second base.
Oh, yeah, I heard about
Two of their players, a captain, I can't remember his name, saved my life for right now. I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. Who's one of the captains for
that.
them?
Sounds like a one-night stand.
I wouldn't know.
Oh. Okay.
Anyway, so they collided out at second base over a pop fly, and it was communication is key. Obviously, when a ball's up in the air, you're supposed to call it. Neither one of them called it, so that happened. But yeah. So going on to the next game.
Big Blue suffered their first loss.
Dun, dun, dun.
However, they were so entertaining while I was repping their game. I didn't even really know that they lost. Well, I was a third base rep. So.
I was going to say, how are you repping?
I was third base rep. That doesn't even count. And so, Kicklebag played a very strong game. And their defense was very strong. They, I think they made hardly any errors. They had some weird bunts. But they have a very lean roster, and they always do, and that is to their. What? Were you making a face at me?
No.
And that is to their benefit because they usually, get through it, get back to the top. While I was on third base, I have some feedback, if you will, from Big Blue, who kept coming over to chat with me.
Feedback about what?
Well, first of all, Brendan Cafferty is my new BFF. This man is hilarious, and we were just bantering, obviously when nothing was going on while I was reffing. J-Lo was playing, and she was chatting with me, and she was just, how did they get up these points? She's like, this team is like Dungeons and Dragons. They just sprinkle some magic powder shit, and they do something. And I was like, oh wow, that's a good analogy.
That's
so
amazing.
That was pretty funny. So Kickleback is now Dungeons and Dragons. And Brandon Cafferty and me were talking because behind us, Alcoholics was playing Foot Cup. And now we know Big Blue has the stigma of being the team that doesn't wear shirts. However, I think Alcoholics is now taking that over.
I can see that, yeah.
And Brandon Cafferty looks over and he's like, what? They're not
Wait,
wearing.
is Brandon Cafferty the one that has the huge?
That's Choma.
No.
I think he's the one that he plays first, not Brendan Carey. Brendan Carey's
Who's the guy that wears the half shirt with the huge circles on the side?
Larry.
No, not Larry.
Larry does have pupils on the side.
No, he wears a hat. I think he might be the catcher.
I don't know. Oh, is he ripped?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Sam.
He just Sam. That's it.
So anyway, me and Brendan were chatting about what's going on. And he sees this guy walk by Alcoholics, and he's just and he's like, bro, take your shirt off, bro. Let's go play some Foot Cup, bro. I'll bring my bros. And I died. And I asked him, obviously, can I quote you on this? Me and him became Facebook friends. He writes on my Facebook wall, bro, let's go play some Foot Cup, bro. And then he sees the guy, because the guy that had his shirt off, he's a big guy.
You look good?
And, well, I don't think so. He's not my type. And so then...
You like more feminine.
So may say that. So then Brendan's like, oh, let's rub our bellies together, bro, and play some Foot Cup. It was hilarious. So they may have lost, but they had a fucking good time. So props to Big Blue.
I want to be friends with Brenda Catherick.
I will introduce you.
Okay.
He needs to be on here. He needs to do something with us because he's hilarious.
Okay.
So we're coming for you.
You
Yay.
definitely get him an interview.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Oh, yeah.
He's Steve Castellan's friend. That's how he got brought in. So, yeah, moving on. 4 o'clock games. We will come back to the home run derby later.
Indeed.
We've got Recess All-Stars 8, 3 Kicks Mafia 1. I did see Molly Lieber yelling in the middle of the field at the refs, so I heard that was a little controversial.
And actually, I wanted to say this before we started all this. I heard that, or read, I guess, that there was a lot of referee discrepancies this weekend.
I had a great, Balzania ref my game. They did a great job. I really was happy to see that AC wrote on the soundboard about Kickleback doing a good job. I think that a lot of people don't understand that reffing is hard, and a lot of us are dicks. And I'll be the
Hard dicks.
and I'll be the first one to say, I mean, I am argumentative. I'm gonna, throw my clipboard around and pretend like I'm tough, but in the end of the thing, the scheme of things, like nobody's getting paid for that. Like it's a volunteer job, and it's really like AC said, it's a thankless job. So I think there's a big thing that needs to have initiative for ref appreciation. So
Ref Appreciation Week.
Oh, maybe. So
No,
I'm pushing for that in my league to make sure that those people are taken care of because it sucks.
That being said, though, don't volunteer to ref if you have no idea what you're doing.
Of course, that is also the problem, but people use it as a cop out. Oh, well, I can't ref. I don't know the rules. Well, how do you play if you don't know the rules? Like there's a certain extent. Like obviously, I know the rules really well, but that's because I work for Waka. However, someone who's played for however long, you know the rules. You can get by if you refed.
Yeah.
I'm going to call some
ref.
probably more technical things if I ever saw them, but whatever. It's all fun and games at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, and reffing first and third base really isn't all that difficult anyway.
Yeah.
You're calling
Right.
a save for an out, you got to watch second base, and you got to kind of watch encroachment, but that's not that
Right.
big of a deal. Call foul balls. So the people that ref home plate
They
are the
need
ones
to
that get a
know.
lot of the group, because they need to be able to overturn calls if something goes funky.
And they need to be paying attention 100% of the time. Like, reffing third base is kind of a joke. I mean, you hardly ever get to make any calls. Reffing first base, you need to, during that game, Kickleback called us out on it because Doug Frazier was reffing first and he didn't see. And then they were asking me, and I'm like, it's all over there. Like, I can't tell from there. Like, it really, it's hard.
Yeah.
So people need to pay attention, step up to ref if you know what you're doing, and don't be drunk when you're doing it.
Well, I mean, they've been drinking all day.
Well, don't be really drunk
So.
where you can't make a smart decision. So anyway, ref appreciation. Thank your refs. Moving on.
So, we still didn't really talk about the game.
Oh yeah, sorry, I went on a
Whereas you went on
tangent.
you did your reffing tangent over there.
That was a 3-minute tangent.
Oh,
Yes.
But you know what? It's a good tangent because that's a common theme every week. Is
Yeah,
the
Kwame,
referee.
you ref all the time. You know how people are. Wouldn't you like someone to buy you a beer after reffing? Wouldn't that be a nice thank you?
Does help.
Yeah, exactly.
but that seems like
No, he's just saying it makes it better.
it does. And I've reffed home plate and all that, and it's not easy, especially when you're playing two competitive teams. It's a pain in the ass because they're the really competitive ones. Are going to challenge every call.
And they're the people who know the rules inside and out.
Well, I mean that, and they are the ones that are most likely going to try and get by on stuff too because they know the rules and they will try and challenge the refs.
Depending on who their ref is, they're going to try to take advantage of it. I've seen it, 100%.
But anyway, back to Reese's All Stars and 3 Kicks Mafia.
Shocked.
What do you mean shocked?
I don't know. I thought 3 Kicks Mafia was gonna win. Or did I say Reese's All-Stars last week?
You said Reese's All Stars.
All
We all
right,
did.
I'm not shocked.
3 Kicks Mafia. Unfortunately for them, they did not. Again, they're only playing with 8 people, so they're playing with those 4 people down, and it just butchers them. And the fact that the reffing from Pandy Dropping Pitches was less than stellar.
So what was the problem? There was just, poor tagging calls, poor strike zone calls.
There was, I think some of it was a strike zone, some of it was calls at first base, and some of it was some foul balls that were called fair, stuff like that. Basically, stuff that anybody should be able to call.
So this is the problem, and I've seen this in a lot of places. People don't understand how the cones correlate. So when you are behind the plate, and you have that cone on the far right, that cone needs to line up with all the other cones that are on that side, the left side of the field. They go opposite. They go like a cross. And because people, they're just sitting there looking like, and they think the other cone, no, that's not the right line.
All right, we'll go into a reffing clinic later. We're gonna get to the games. Well, I'm not saying you need one. You
Okay,
obviously
keep
have
going.
A lot of,
You don't need to respond to everything I say. Most people just ignore me.
I try, but you don't shut up, so I can't. So anyway, Recess All Stars continued on with their good play. They tweaked their lineup the past few weeks, and they've just been playing a lot better. They're just a lot more solid. I think they've got 2 in a row now as far as wins. So they're picking it up, and they're playing very well. Next game is our game of the week. The only one I would like to say that I'm the only one that picked sidekicks.
No, I picked sidekicks
did
too,
too.
and then she gave me so much shit
that's
about
right,
it.
you did.
Yeah.
So there we go. However, as funny as that is, it was a very good game. I watched the entire thing, and I tell you what, after that first inning, like that was I want to say it was a 1-1 game. The rest of that game, like you take away that first inning, and it was a 1-1 game straight through.
But sidekicks, they scored all that, the 3 in 1 inning. I think.
That's what I'm saying. They scored those 3 runs.
That's what they do, though.
Yeah, and
that's what they do with us too.
Yeah, and they played as Kyle put it, they played an A+ game. Sidekicks came out there and made literally no mistakes. I didn't even get a recap from them. AC had already walked off, and he left his message. One of those other players that gave it to me. He says, "Actions speak louder than words." And then I turned and said, "Well, where is he?" And he's walking off into the sunset. So
He's
I was
a
like,
baby.
"What?"
He's responsibilities.
I mean, so he was gone. But and that's that's it. There was not a whole lot of chirping during the game. Both teams are very quiet teams. You don't see a whole lot of jarring going on between teams like that. But once the damage was done, it was very, very quiet on that field. Like you could have heard a pin drop on that field, minus the other tailgating and shit going around him. But I
am going to say this, and you're probably gonna get mad, but I don't really give a shit. I feel like what happens, and I've played on offshoots of Wolfpack in different leagues and stuff like that, and so the core group, I know that when things start to get tough for them, there's 2 things that happen. They either pull it together or they completely fall apart because it becomes a mental game, and it's just they can't get out of their heads at all. And I as a co-captain to that whatever that team was that I was on, like I've tried to bring people back up and stuff like that, but it does not work. So I don't know.
I am not mad at you because you are correct. I will vouch for that. I have said this from Inglorious Ballstar days that you're right. When we make a couple errors and people capitalize it, and we either shut down completely or we're able to say, all right, you guys get it together and we'll come back. But this was an uncharacteristic game for us.
Is that your new favorite word?
Yes. I'm actually quoting Kyle there. And sidekicks did bring their A+ game. And like you said, it was just that first inning. It was they got their top 3 runners on base with no outs and a couple bad throws, some misplays at home, throwing the ball around. Mm-hmm. Julian said that he had, not a good game. Kelly Miller was talking about having bunting practice. So it sounds like, it just wasn't in the cards for us. But you know what? I will say that actions do speak louder than words. So sidekicks, see you in playoffs.
That could definitely be a preview of the championship game right there. It very well could be.
Kwame, do you have anything you want to say about the game?
He wasn't even there.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Oh, you guys are just team players.
Sorry. Because during the interview, I was talking to Kyle, and Kwame was there. So I asked him if he thought Kwame being there would have helped, and he said no. He was that pissed. It wasn't a knock against Kwame because I was talking.
But it was a knock against Kwame.
It was kind of funny.
Although I think the Kwame bomb of the week, I did hear that Bill Ryan fouled out at his first at bat, so I think that's gonna be our Kwame bomb of the week.
Ooh.
Oh shit, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So, Bill Ryan, step it up. And we also said that we hope Art gets lost in Europe.
Why? Did he do bad?
He's in Europe.
Oh, he wasn't
Yeah,
there.
he wasn't there at the game either. All right, moving on. Our last game of the day was Beastie Balls and the Banana Hammocks.
Yeah, hammocks.
You wanna take this one, V? Since you was there for that and all that, right?
Well, so I played again this week. Got a little ribby too. Woo!
Ricky.
Ribby.
Well, you say Ribby, it's baseball, but it's not a run batted in because you're not batting.
I know, but I don't like to say run kicked in. I like to go traditional. Anywho,
Who tell you? Never mind.
Mike said that you have to say Ribby, so Ricky. That's
Say that
what
word
I'm
before
told. So anyway, I think we played a pretty messy game actually. We were very hungover, it turns out. Davis brothers. They
Not
like to,
surprised.
they like to party.
Like party.
We were also missing Jeremy, who's our leadoff. So we changed our lineup. Can you stop? So we changed our lineup a little bit and tweaked it. But it worked. It was good. However, a girl versus my own heart, Jess Malloy, she
Fucked up. Oh no.
no, she didn't
You're
fuck
right,
up. She
you're right.
actually played a really good. Well, she missed a ball once, but that wasn't really her fault. So she gets up to the plate, and I tell her, I'm like, just kick. Like I want you to just
Try
kick.
it.
You know,
Try
like
it.
give it a whirl. She ends up getting it, you know, kind of a little bit past second base. It's a girl who drops it. It may or may not have been directed to the girl that was in a dress. So I don't know if she planned that or not, but you know.
Leave
So
that one alone.
so then the run comes in and they throw it around, they throw it wrong, it gets, so basically Jess loves to slide if anybody's ever played with her. So she doesn't slide into first, but she runs from first, then she goes to second and slides. Then she gets up after her base coach tells her to keep going, goes to third, slides into third, and then we tell her to keep going. So she gets up and then she runs home and she scored and she got 3 runs in. However, she tore her thumb ligament.
It looks.
It is
Gross.
basically like blue. So I spent my afternoon and evening at the Griffin Hospital ER with her because she was in a lot of pain and it was a little gross.
So are you guys going to have a sliding clinic?
No, and I've been telling her this since I brought her onto our team and I always tell her not to slide. And she's always slides into first base, which is the one base you don't have to slide into. You can run through that. And she just does it. It's like instinctive for her.
It's just a
And
noggin tattoo all the time.
yeah, in that field you should not slide on. So I think hopefully she learned her lesson, but she's got a good prognosis. She will be back soon. She's healing up nice now. So, but she did do a great job. She's just crazy good. Who knew?
Cool. All right. So we're done with that. Now let's get on to the home run derby. It was a good turnout. We did have 25 people show up, sign up and play, which is awesome. The wind, like in the fall, was a big factor as far as balls kicked. We had a lot of close shots. Some hit the top of the wall, didn't go over. I'm going to call it the yellow monster.
Michael Mancini was robbed. It hit the yellow thing.
It did, and bounced off. It happened.
Twice in a row.
It was his first and his third kick.
I was so mad.
But anyway, the first home run of the day came from Pete Williams from Multiple Scoregasms.
Woo!
And he's kicked a few home runs this season so far too. Like he's a beast. If he gets a good pitch, he's gonna kick the shit out of that ball. So he ended up with 2 in the first round, and we went through like 7 or 8 other kickers before Matthew Masterson from Great Balls of Fire kicked one, which got him into the second round. And then it looks like we had Matt Friello from Alcoholics. He blasted 2 over the wall. And then Devon Roberts, who ended up winning, he got 3 in that first round.
Which is surprising to me because I had no idea that Devon could
So
kick.
can I just intervene here for a second?
I mean, would you do it anyway?
Yes, of course.
Then you don't have to ask.
Sorry, I'm trying to like run my league at the same time. So Devon there's a lot of great kickers out there, but I think Devon was just catching the wind right. Honestly,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Way to belittle that.
I'm
man's
sorry.
achievement.
I know he's not a kicker. Like nobody knows him to be a Grand Slam kicker.
That's why I wouldn't.
And that's why I think he hit it right and the wind took it.
But that's how that works.
Kwame.
The question you asked is, has Bunt ever had a chance to kick away?
Yes, and he does. And he'll
And it
foul
pop
out.
out.
And he pops out or he fouls out.
So
See, I
he
don't know
can't
that
handle
well.
the pressure.
I don't know him that well to be able to determine.
I've
you
played
know,
with him a good amount.
Everyone has a kicking foot. It's all a matter of who kicks it.
And honestly, like it's all in Kwame can attest to this. This ball is hard to kick.
You
And
use
if-
a waka ball?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
waka ball. That's why people almost prefer, like, first of all, it's coming at you at what, like 30 miles an hour if you got a good pitcher, 20 miles an hour. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
like that.
slow that down. Who the hell is throwing that?
Well,
rock
I
like
mean,
that?
Corey Shoop is probably throwing a 30-mile-an-hour ball.
I doubt that.
Oh,
But anyway,
or Big Dave. Anyway,
maybe 15 tops.
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get a radar
Speed
gun.
People get hit with a car at 30.
Yeah, you think you're kicking a rubber
Well, that's
ball
what I'm
at 30 miles an
saying.
hour is gonna
Well, that's
break
what I was
somebody's
saying.
ankle.
Like when you kick that ball,
You're a horrible
it's like
man.
kicking a medicine ball because the circuit ball especially it's weighted. So these balls are a lot harder and they don't take the air like a soccer ball does or like stuff like that.
The ball molds to your feet, so it basically
It, like,
instead of
smushes
getting-
around.
Instead of getting enough force and keeping its shape, the shape changes by the time you get enough power to kick.
But anyway, back to the topic at hand. So you had Devon, Matt, Matthew, and Pete all went on to the championship round. Pete ended up kicking 2 more in that round to give him 4 total, and then Matt had 1, and then Matt Friello from Alcoholics didn't get any in that second round, and then Devon, he had 1 up until his 4th out, where he got his money ball over the fence.
Oh, there's a money ball?
Yeah, your 4th out was a money ball, which means anything that you got over on your last out, your last base, or your last kick would count as 2 points. So that's what won it for him. Pete was all set to win if Devon didn't get that money ball over the fence, because that gave him the 2 points, and then that was it, because he had 6 total on the day after that. So that gave him the edge for that. So he got his trophy and his $50.
How did the girls do?
Crystal kicked a pretty good ball.
She kicked 2 really good balls. I'm surprised there weren't more girls that signed up. I think what I'm going to try and do is I might try and have a women's division.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would play out, but the thing is we only have an hour, so it would have to be something that I can put together and have it run. It's gonna have to move because I can't. Like I said, we only have an hour, and you're up in games and stuff.
Unless you did an hour in between games and then do the girls one after the games are over.
Well, that you had, but at the same time, if there's any girls that are really interested in doing that, they've been drinking all day. They've been there since noon. So yeah,
Girls that want to take it serious and want to win their $50.
that's very true, and that could be something that we do put up together. Now the question is though, do we move that home plate up for the girls, kind of like golf? You have like a women's ladies tee and all that. Do you move it up or do you leave it where it is and say you got to kick like the guys?
I think it depends on the types of girl. Like there's girls that can do that.
Yeah, but you can't really.
But then are you gonna make it like, I don't know. I say you should leave it the same and just, change the markers maybe. Like not say it's gotta be over the fence, but like move the, I guess that's kind of the same
Same thing.
It's the same exact thing. Way to go with that. You're still.
I know. I was waiting for her to finish.
I'm like half paying attention right now. Sorry, I'm busy.
No title 19 for you,
I know, you love to say
It's
that.
Title IX, first of all.
So yeah, I would say Title IX.
I don't know what Title 19 is. Probably someone down in Virginia probably knows that.
Know your privilege.
Is
Know your
whatever.
role.
I don't know. I just said it because it sounded good. I don't know why. It sounded good. It was funny. So fuck you guys.
I didn't say anything.
They're not laughing at you.
Anyway, how
Yeah.
much money did we get?
So I don't know what we got for the total for the 50-50 or the obviously the other raffle was just given away. So I don't know what Kyle got, but we got $250 minus. So we have $200 for the home run derby itself, which is going to the Urban Resource Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what we got for the 50-50. I don't know what the numbers were on that.
Oh, that was. I
that
don't
was separate
remember.
though.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, it was something, but it's all going to the
Yeah.
to,
Same
to the same
charity.
charity. So I figured, that week the midseason party and then the home run derby would have came together as one kind of
$200.
monetary
That's
thing.
a lot of money. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
I mean, granted, we're only allowing 25 people in.
Yeah.
If we open it up to more, we could probably get more money out of it to give to the charities. So that'll be something that we try and work on. Especially if we end up having 2 divisions, with men and women.
Mhm.
It'd be something that we could.
I definitely think that would be a beneficial thing to do.
I'll do a poll at the end of the season and see if there would be enough interest.
Title 19 is Medicaid, by the way.
And you know what I know? I know where they came from. Thank you.
Anyway,
having
moving
any of
on.
that. So yeah, what do we got next?
So I took some notes while this was happening. There was a mass group of spectators. But I was just, it was basically the same stuff that he was just saying. But I thought Ted hurt his foot on Wolfpack. No?
Not that I know.
Somebody said that he hurt his foot.
Maybe that was a mind game. Mind trick.
I don't know.
No comment.
Oh.
Kami's like the king of. I'm
All right,
serious, so I don't get fined.
So what do we? All right. So moving on while she's not paying attention anymore.
Yeah.
So what else do we got going on next week? I think we're doing because there's no kickball this coming weekend. So next week we've got the Waka Northeast Tourney that we're going to be coming up. So I'll let you take a hold of that.
Sure. So, as Eric said, this upcoming Sunday there will be no CTIV games due to Memorial Day. So, thank your veterans. Thank you.
Oh, welcome.
And just remember what the day is all about. So, our podcast next Tuesday will be a preview to the Waka Northeast Tournament, the regional tournament. We're going to have Mr. Chad Martin on the show. Chad is
We get it fixed. All right. And
Are we live? Are we
yeah,
good?
we're back. Okay.
Woo-hoo! Yikes! Sorry, guys.
No idea what the hell happened there. It's the internet technical difficulties. It was probably V's fault. So, all right, so moving on. So we were talking about the tournament and everything.
Yeah. So, you were actually trying to say
Oh,
something.
I was saying that the after party is really awesome. It's on
It's
the
a
roof.
jammy party.
Yeah, like Jammy's like, yeah, it's, I don't know. My sister
Like
says it.
pajamas.
No, like no, like
Because that's what I was
Is that
thinking.
right? I was like, I am not wearing pajamas.
like cool. Like it's another word for cool. I don't know. My sister says it, so I say it.
Jammin'.
No, she says jammy.
Oh, that's not the word. It's jammin'.
Well, it's a Rebecca-ism, so we're gonna use it.
Oh, okay.
So it's a rooftop party at the Russian Lady. If you play in the competitive division, you get in for free. I don't think you do on the charity side.
I don't know.
But great drinks and free beer and fun
Hotel right
times.
within walking distance, so you don't have to drive.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day is Connecticut Ivy kickball again, and it is Team Spirit Week,
Ooh.
in which the LV show
Plus 2 special guests.
will be judging a team drink competition.
Now, how this works? It works. If you were here a few seasons ago, we did a similar way, but it was everybody voting on it, and they were huge containers of drinks, and some people didn't submit, whatever. So all I am asking of you is at 3 o'clock on this day, you find me at my drink table, and you give me a sample of your beverage. So I will have bottles ready for each team, and I'll pour some in there. That'll be enough for our panel, and then you can enjoy the rest of it. And we'll be judging on best taste, best name. So you have to come up with a name for your drink, and what was it?
The oh shit, what the hell happened last night award.
So stuff that's gonna fuck you up.
We're all gonna die.
Not only that, but we're gonna die because the day before we're gonna still be hungover. I guarantee it. So
Oh, and by the way, that week BC Balls plays Wolf.
no,
Yeah.
that's the 31st. I
No.
played Pink that week. That's the last regular season week. We don't play each other.
For sure.
You check your schedule.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a lot of debauchery, and everybody get their drinks, start thinking in your brain, go on Pinterest, look up some ideas. It could be like the same color as your team, or something that is your team's motto. I don't know. But
What's the motto with you?
yep, cool.
Jalapeno business.
So we have about 3 minutes left.
Oh wait, we had a thing on Facebook that we got some decent responses
Oh, I have it
from.
right here.
Did we?
So we posted a picture earlier stating if you were on a deserted island, which Connecticut Ivy kickball team would you want to be on that island with you?
So we have myself. I chose Big Blue because they have a lot of big men, and they can hunt animals. And then LV recommended if you get hungry, you could eat them. So
Sounds kind of
then,
sexual, actually.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I meant it like they got big muscles, so there's like a lot to gnaw on.
so LV picked dead weight because it's a bunch of former cops, so they can serve and protect.
Mhm.
But then she must have not known that it was a deserted island.
And not a desert island.
No, no, it would be great if it was a
No,
dessert.
it would not.
We also
Go
have
to diabetes and die.
Michael DePascal. He says that he's going down with his pitches. We know how to turn a bad situation good. Wicked smart, too. We figure that isn't
That's
is shit. Oh, it's shit spelled wrong. Out in a minute. So he's going with his crew. And Dan Werner says he's going with banana hammocks because you'll definitely need a hammock on an island.
That's actually
But it's a hammock for bananas.
/ dicks.
It's thanks for.
So anyway, about the drink competition, look for our event on Facebook. It is on the CT Ivy Soundboard page. We maybe will share it to our LV page. CTL registration is now closed. If you want to be a free agent, you can sign up. Just email me. You got to find out the secret password.
does anyone have any questions?
That's what I'm recommending.
Your questions?
No, I don't. I was trying to figure out because I know I was talking to you guys today about the tournament. I don't know. I'd have to check my calendar and see. But if there are any teams out there that are looking for extra players, I'm a decent utility guy. I can play mostly everything. Nothing. I'm not.
He plays every position well.
Yeah, obviously.
Giggity.
Giggity. So if anybody needs a player, Look me up. Come out, find me. Let me know. Whatever.
Because he's not going to contact you.
Well, because I don't know who's got teams.
Yeah, okay, see you later.
Oh, is that it? We're
Wait,
done?
no, what I was talking about.
No, I thought we were gonna do
Do we-
questions.
I don't think
Like
we-
There were no
There were
questions.
no questions.
I don't
Oh.
have- well, we didn't really ask for questions either, and I'm
We
checking my phone.
I told Sarah Cleary to send me them, but she said she's going to watch The Bachelorette instead.
Bitch.
I was like, who's more important, me? Google bitches.
Apparently, those little bitches are more
I know.
important.
Virginia. Had to come throw one in. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye, thanks for watching. Toodaloo.
Deuces.